Good afternoon to everyone. Actually, today I will discuss about the self in real self in relations to profession. In relation to profession, how do you develop self-critical awareness of teaching competency in the following context? The teaching capacity कैसे increase कर सकता है? The following points you have to consider: adequacy of a subject matter, knowledge of professions, professional skills, effective communications, etc. इसको हम कैसे actually use कर सकते हैं? What is your add up to this point? So just we can recognize this is the point. Whatever we have to check this point. Self-critical awareness of teaching competency. The self-critical awareness teaching competency क्या होता है? Teacher competence refers to the right way of the conveying knowledge, application, and skills to the students. The main objective of the teacher to give the proper direction to the students and develop teaching skills, application skills, any other skills. Any definition of teaching competence depends on teaching in a particular setting or the culture or the values of the community. It also depends on the individual teacher and student characteristics in the classroom. Teaching competence has various dimensions. Teaching competence has various dimensions. So what are the various dimensions? Teaching competence, I'm saying that this is the various dimensions. See, teaching competitions has the various dimensions, such as content knowledge, student motivation, evaluation, classroom skills, etc. These are the teaching explanations. Common teaching techniques. The teacher should be able to communicate effectively. The teacher must be able to work effectively with community resources. The teacher must be always ready to learn from experience. The teacher must have planning. The teacher must have adequate knowledge of pedagogical science, child psychology. The teacher must have always ready to learn more experiences. कुछ पॉइंट ऐसा है जो कि टीचर को जानना जरूरी है. क्या है वो पॉइंट? Already described this point. So adequacy of subject matter knowledge. Subject matter knowledge. Adequacy of subject matter knowledge, just you can see. Knowledge is the familiarity, awareness of understanding or some such facts, information, skills which are acquired through the experience or education by discovering, perceptions or learning. So we have just described the knowledge क्या होता है, what is the adequacy of subject matter knowledge क्या होता है. Knowledge means just familiarity, awareness, understanding of some such facts of as effects, information, skills which adequate through experience education by discovering, perception, or learning. Just we can draw some points. Subject knowledge comes the different forms. What are the different forms? First one is curricular knowledge. The first one is checking curricular knowledge. ये फिर क्या होता है? What do you know about the formally defined curriculum to your age range? Second point, context. ये भी तुमको जानना जरूरी है. Context knowledge. What is the most people would perhaps think? Content में क्या है actually? Next, simply a kind of knowledge that comes from the reference books. 6. Pedagogy subject knowledge. 3 points are very much essential to describe yourself. Curriculum क्या होता है, context क्या होता है, pedagogy of the subject knowledge क्या होता है. For everything, pedagogy knowledge helps the teachers to teach and support as children develop their own personal subject knowledge. That is helps the pedagogy knowledge. Contents कैसे gives करता है, because context knowledge, what is most people would perhaps think simply as a knowledge. The kind of this knowledge comes from the references of books, textbooks. The knowledge will come from through the books only. जितना हम reading करेंगे, that much knowledge also will come slowly. So develop your knowledge through readings, books, through different reference books. So what is the subject knowledge and why it is important? Subject knowledge has a very important role to play, because high quality teaching resets on teachers. High quality teaching resets teachers' understanding the subjects as they are knowing the structure and sequencing of the concepts. That is high quality teachers. Developing factual knowledge essential to teach every student as a good performance format. How to explain different forms of the teachers to the students. That's why reading is the only one way to explain more easily. Professional skills. In order to teach something like academic subjects to the students, teacher need to experience exercise on the subject before going to observe the knowledge from the different websites that are available in the internet. Because this is also another important part in the telling their communication skills or professional skills. The professional skills, it is very much essential for the teacher for the academic subjects. How to teach properly to the students? That's a teacher mostly need exercise on the subject through going to observe different knowledge from the internet, also different internet books is available. So all the collect the data from websites as well as the textbooks and develop the professional skills. Commitment. Professional skills कुछ अंडर में कुछ कैटेगरी है. So what is your commitment? While being committed to the job, is a traditional teaching skill. It is also a modern one. A modern teacher needs to always to be engaged in their profession. A modern teacher needs to always to be engaged in their profession. Modern teacher needs always engaged in their profession. Confidence भी होना जरूरी है, commitment भी होना जरूरी है. Every teacher needs to have a confidence, not only in themselves, but in their students in their colleges. Continuous learner, a teacher who is always willing to go that extra mile to learn will always be an effective, successful teacher. The continuous learner का क्या capacity होना चाहिए? What is the continuous learner? When a person or when a teacher will always willing to go extra mile to learn is always be an effective. When a person or teacher want to go extra mile, then learn is always be an effective and successful teacher. The learn he only one way to successful teacher. Ability to engage. Teachers should know how to find engaging resources. Teachers should know how to find engaging teachers. Teachers should know how to find the engaging resources, that is ability. Leadership skills, it is an effective teacher, is a mentor and guide to the students in the right direction. Motivational skills also required for teaching. The teacher must be skillful enough to handle the conflict in the smooth and non-threatening environment. Being impactful, imaginative, the most professional, effective professional skill that teacher needs imagination. Effective communications. Unoperational definition. Communication is the act on conveying our ideas to others. Modifying the message depending on the feedback of the others and responding appropriately to the message sent by others. The mechanics of the communication. A communicative situation has the following participants in it: the sender of the message, the receiver of the message. The components of effective communication: analytic ability, creativity, objectivity, sensitivity. These are the steps for effective communications. Analytic ability means क्या होता है ना, is the ability to analyze different components of a piece of information in order to understand its content. Creativity is the ability to use the different alternative ways to reach out to people suitably and successfully. Objectivity is the ability to practice, is the communicative situations without any preconceived notations about persons involved or the content of communications. Sensitivity. So sensitivity is the ability to sensitivity to the feelings of others in the social situations in order to communicate effectively. So he communicate effectively. Steps of communication process. Any act communication involves the following steps: identifying the need for communication, thinking of suitable medium for communication, encoding the messages in the medium identified, planning support system, presentation, observing and look for the feedback, modifying encoded message so as to overcome the gaps, presentation to the modification message. Okay, the next one is the qualities of a good communicator. Quality क्या होना चाहिए for the good communicator? A good communicator is one who possesses the following qualities. क्या quality होना चाहिए देखेंगे. जस्ट कम्युनिकेटर कुछ है जो वन कुछ जो कम्युनिकेटर होना चाहिए तो व्हाट टाइप ऑफ होना चाहिए, तो ये डिफरेंट फॉलोइंग क्राइटेरिया को फिलअप करना पड़ेगा। तो क्या है देखते हैं, कॉन्फिडेंट इज क्लियर अबाउट हिज और हर गोल्स। गोल्स, उसका जो गोल है ना उस गोल के बारे में कॉन्फिडेंट होना चाहिए। क्लियर अबाउट द मैसेज, एवरीथिंग शुड बी क्लियर होना चाहिए। कैन अंडरस्टैंड द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ द अदर्स, इज द पोलाइट एंड कंसिडरेट, पोलाइट भी होना चाहिए, कंसिडरेट भी होना चाहिए। दीज आर द पॉइंट्स। डेवलपिंग इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स among the learners, इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स कैसे डेवलप करना है among the learners। Developing effective communication skills necessarily involves creation of the communicative situations, either real or involves the creation of communicative simulated. This helps the learners develop insight into the process of communications. Giving appropriate feedback to the learners would be important aspect। तो यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए ना, डेवलपिंग कैसे कम्युनिकेट अमंग तो होना चाहिए, क्रिएशन ऑफ द कम्युनिकेटिव स्किल्स, एंड दिस creative idea helps the learners develop insight into the process of the communication, and giving the appropriate feedback to the learners would be an important aspect। Steps effective classroom communications। Teacher must allow the student to speak out without interaction। It is better to use visual tools in addition to your verbal communication, respecting the foundation of effective communication. Essentially, in the classrooms, gestures and animated facial expressions also give the weight and enthusiasm. What is a teacher say? Effective classroom होना चाहिए। So effective classroom is also another important part। Steps of effective classroom। Second question, how does a person develop critical awareness in the following items? Critical awareness में attitudes towards the students, teaching materials, interested in the students' aptitude, tapping their abilities to realize the values, identify these lessons। Self-critical awareness. What is the self-critical awareness? Self-awareness refers to being aware of ourselves. Ourself includes our strengths, our weakness, our assets, our liabilities, positive, negative elements. These points. That is includes ourself। ourself में क्या क्या जाता है? Strengths, weakness, assets, liabilities। सेल्फ अवेयरनेस इज द एबिलिटी। सेल्फ अवेयरनेस क्या होता है ना, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस होता है द एबिलिटी टू परसीव one's own existence, that is the अपने एग्जिस्टेंस को हम कहते हैं एबिलिटी टू डू सम वर्क, including one's own traits, feelings and behaviors। That is also called feelings and behavior is also represents the self awareness। An effective teacher understand that teaching involves the possessing right attitude towards the students। The teaching job interest in the welfare and overall development of the student, attitude for the job, ability to involve the students in teaching and learning process, and finally realizing the values of education. These are the effective property of the teachers. Attitude towards the students क्या होना चाहिए for a good teacher? Attitude in main thing to students, all are the next. Teachers need to observe the student attitude in the classroom and they guide to the students in a proper manner to lead their life society in respect of the manner or other manner or lead into life society respect the manner, and also teachers have to respect cultural activities and differences beliefs of the students that are came from the different regions. The teachers only one who observe properly to the students, and teacher must be need to observe the students attitude in that classroom, and also only one main teacher who's guide the students in the right directions and give lead to the society in different activities also, like the cultural activities में वो teachers also respect the cultural activity में participate कर सकते हैं, and students annual function में participate करते हैं, different athletes come from the different regions में कर सकते हैं. Adopting student center methods of teaching, student centered methods teaching को adopt करना पड़ेगा, तो कैसे करेंगे? And democratic classroom practices. Democratic classroom practices, the teacher tries to provide meaningful learning opportunities for all students. Teachers never using intimidation some technique. They effort to motivate all the students to reach the expected learning standards. The teacher exhibits absolute confidence in the context ability to learn. Attitude towards the teaching. Attitude towards the teaching depends upon the misarrangement, mismanagement of learning resources, lack of confidence in implementing the new practice projects, teachers' own perceptions and beliefs about built-in difficulties in the subject, low social status for teaching profession, inadequate salaries. That is also plain important role play करता है. Teaching and learning material. The term of teaching and learning material usually refers to some specific sophisticated equipment used by teachers to enhance and consolidate learning. Teaching and learning material, that is TLM, by learner who learn in one of the learner. Interested in students and subject. In order to maintain the effective classroom teaching must observe the student attention. तो इन क्लासरूम का एक मेन गोल होता है students attention in the classroom while class is going on. Simultaneously, student also put the attention towards the teacher to gain the knowledge from the teacher, to gain the knowledge from the teacher. Identify and recognize the strengths of the students. So some points to be noted for a teacher. Identify and recognize the strengths of the students. Solicit students' feedback on important issues. Be fair and impartial while dealing sensitive issues. Because available to the students in learner-friendly and appropriate way help students to overcome limitations, create opportunities, and engage students actively in the class. Question number 3. How do you develop your one's role to enrich learners' capabilities and guiding them for self-actualization? How do you develop your one's role to enrich learner capabilities and guiding them to self-actualization? That is some tutor. Tutor, the participants, the assessor, learner, the prompter, learning facilitator, catalyst for change, guiding them for self-actualization. So these are the points where we have to develop for the points. Okay. So this question we will discuss the next class. How do we develop your capability? Okay. Thank you.